I'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast and the powerful video library. Um, this is not a rhetorical question. This is a real question, okay? Are these videos changing literally how you think? Okay, that's
Yes.
what I'm. All right. Does anybody believe Rosanna?
Yeah.
You believe her? Okay. Why do you believe her?
Because I'm trying to trust people, try to work on that. So
Okay. So what would lead you to believe, like, what has she demonstrated? What have you seen? What evidence have you seen that that these videos have changed her life forever?
I think that she's been involved in the conversations, and so I would imagine if anybody was going to get changed, it would be her.
Why is that? Why not you?
I think I would too. I just have trouble internalizing things, so
Okay.
that might be my one limit.
Okay. Um, so does anybody have any suggestions for Luke? First, other than getting him on video.
All right, let me put a shirt on.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You know, you're a guy, so you can get on without a shirt. Gals, yep, not so much, but guys, yeah, it's fine. And so, or maybe, maybe he doesn't, shouldn't have maybe he should have, like, if he has to have a shirt on, it probably means that the date went well last week and he's engaged now, which is really cool. And so I was gonna say, like, we know that Luke wants these things to change his life. So at least one of these videos came up in his date last week, I'm sure. This one's participative. There he is. All right. So did you propose? Did you say yes?
I did not propose.
Okay. Didn't
It
know.
went very, very well, though.
Okay, good. So are we still on the hunt? If there's, a special, like, women, if you're watching this podcast, you know, should they call me to get to you, Luke, or you pretty much found the one you're looking for?
I don't think you're going to know anyone better than this one, so.
Okay. All right. Well, that speaks very highly of her. Like, this young lady, I want to meet her. I want to meet her because she's better than 4 billion, other women. 4 billion. That's with a B. Or 100. It's so. So what did you guys think about this video?
I'm not sure how much I agree with all of it, but it's still pretty crazy, even with the stuff that I do believe in.
Interesting.
This is the size one, right? 26.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I understood the relevance of it, but I got so bored with it quickly. Or it was like I after watching it for 30 seconds or so, I was like, okay. I stopped it, went to the end. Okay, same thing at the end. So I didn't even watch the whole thing.
So, Dale, let me ask you a question. Do you get, and it's great to have Dale, like, it's like awesome that he's here today. He's going to change the entire energy of the entire group. And this is his first time. I mean, not first time doing a podcast, first time on this podcast. So, I think I want to get some headphones like he has, like that. That would be good.
My wife is sleeping, so I had to be quiet and keep the
No,
speakers
I
down.
get it. I get it. So let me ask you a question, Dale. Do you get a lot of people asking you if you're the smartest person in the room?
No.
Huh. Interesting.
I create things and people are asking me, how'd you think of that? I was like, it's
Okay.
just sort of how I was raised, or it's just had to learn by figuring stuff out.
Okay. Gotcha.
Why was it interesting, Uncle Mark? How he responded?
Well, is anybody on today's podcast that gets asked, are you the smartest? Like, do you think you're the smartest person in the room? Have anybody ever experienced that a lot from people?
Nope.
Nope.
Not me.
So now I'm a little, my oldest brother, he had a problem in high school that, Vern, he's a CPA, super smart guy and important too, important and busy. Like, wow. Anyways, he had a problem in high school that I never had. What was that, Mark? He got lower grades on purpose because people went ahead and, because he wanted to fit in. I fit in without even trying. So he was intellectually very smart. And so when he told me that a few years back, I'm like, really? You got lower grades just to fit in? So I never had to do that. I just fit in. I mean, people, if it was graded on the curve, everybody liked me because I helped bump that bad boy up.
So with your expertise and personality, obviously you know his personality. Have you came across this people with the same situation with his personality?
Yes, well, it's not only personality, but it's the analytic. Yes, often the analytic thinks they're the smartest person in the room because they know the most details. I'm not saying about irrelevant things that don't matter. I'm just saying that, they're often the ones that are asking me if I think I'm the smartest person in the room. And so it's not with admiration. Like, wow, Mark, you're the smartest person in the room. It's not that. It's like, what? You think you're the smartest person in the room? Do you guys know what my response is? It's happened so frequently. It's just, I just like roll my eyes. I'm like, uh-huh. Do you guys know what I respond to? See, someday you all will achieve that pinnacle of success where people are going to, if you continue to participate in this podcast, then you will get to that pinnacle of success in your life where people will go ahead and be like, what? You're the smartest person in the room. You think you're the smartest person. So what you say, you won't have to have hundreds of people tell you that before you figure this out. What you say, that's an interesting thing you say. Actually, I've given that a lot of thought. Do you know who the smartest person in the room always is? Do you know what their response will be?
No, they don't know.
Yeah, they'll be like, what?
The one that asks the most questions.
What's that?
The one that asks the most questions.
She's giving the answer. Not that she figured it out. She's giving the answer. It's actually the one who's the best student. So the best student's the smartest person in the room because they walk away knowing more than anybody else does.
I have a thought before I lose my thought from you going back earlier. You said, and this is your thoughts, and I don't think the same way. You had said that we'll get to that success sometimes that people will ask that we're the smartest person in the room. For me, I don't see that as successful. I don't care if somebody thinks I'm the smartest person in the room. My thought is, from my experience being in different rooms, people think the smartest person in the room is the one that does all the talking because they're the only one that they realize that they get information. They get the information from that person because the smartest person can be in the room but not say a word. So they'll never even know that that person's the smartest person. That's my thought.
Wow. So you think the person who's doing the most talking in the room is the smartest?
Maybe not the most. Let me go back. One of the several people that are doing most of the talking, because obviously there's not just going to be one person talking in the room that's all the time. So there may be a
You don't know some of the people that I know.
Same as me.
Some of the people I know, I'm telling you, it seems like they're the only ones talking. Like, so, but I get what you're saying. I'm not I'm not saying I disagree with you. Can anybody explain to Dale why I'm not saying I disagree with him?
Because you don't want to hurt his feelings.
Right,
I could care less.
right, right. Luke knows that so he's my nephew. He knows me really well. He knows that I'm a really caring, compassionate kind of guy. It's what I'm known for. Like when you ask, what's Mark Boersma? And it's like, what's the one word? And it's like, kind, compassionate, caring. Those are the words that people often use. Um, now I lost my train of thought, but it's okay. It might not come back or it might come back. So the people, the reason I don't disagree is when you disagree with somebody, you're being arrogant. Because you're saying, what you're saying is, I understand you're either being arrogant or stupid. Just to be clear, ignorance is not knowing what to do. Stupid is not doing what we know.
I actually have a piece of papers right above my monitor, a few things to don't say and say. And one of the things is not to say that you don't disagree. It's actually to say you agree, but say but. I agree, but because everybody wants to be agreed with. But when you say but, then essentially you're disagreeing, but you're saying it in a nice way. It's like I agree, but this is
Really
my point. I read that
interesting.
somewhere, and I have that. It's on my paper
You
behind
might
my monitor.
you might think about maybe drawing a line through it, and because there's a way to, because when you put buts in, a lot of times people, but they won't tell you this, but they'll often think this, you're being a butt, and so I think maybe, what are you laughing about, Luke? So what might be even like, it's not, the purpose is not being nice. I think that, so it might be more effective to say that's an interesting perspective. That's an interesting perspective.
But
I have a different perspective. What did you say, Luke?
I said, but I have an interesting or a different perspective.
No, it's not but. You don't put but unless you want to be a but. Then I guess you can put but. Like I'm sorry, but.
All right, I'll make sure to add that to my notes because I definitely want to be that.
Right. So, and so like here is, I have 4 levels of friendship. So level 1 friendship is you will like me. I can control that totally. Well, mostly. I just tell you what you want to hear, and you'll say, oh, he's such a nice guy. I can tell you what you want to hear. I can tell you things about yourself that you don't even know about yourself that'll absolutely totally impress you. You'll be like, this guy is amazing. I can do this within just a few minutes. Level 2 is I will irritate you. Level 3 is you will love me. Level 4 is our visions will connect. I don't know if I've got anybody in level 4. Why is that, Mark? So Dale, sometimes I have conversations with myself. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard a podcast, Dale, where there's only one person on the podcast?
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking about doing a podcast like that, but there won't be one person. There will be multiple personalities, and I will be having conversations with myself. And so let's go back to the video, though. Did anybody else watch the video and come up with anything? Thank you all for your participation, engagement. Dale's like, man, this group is happening. Like,
The only other thing I thought about, I was like, I am not that smart, and I know this is going to continue going way above my intelligence, so I'm just going to stop it.
Okay. Interesting.
Except to the fact that, yes, everything is small and it's going to go bigger. That's just where that video was headed.
Did
Why aren't
anybody
you
want to,
intelligent enough?
anybody who watched the video want to help Dale realize where it was actually going? I'm not saying you guys aren't the most attentive group in the world, because then, see, when you're following me, the way that I get you to follow me, the way I get you to follow me is I tell you how amazing you are by just participating in this podcast. And I tell you how smart you are, and you're amazing because you're just participating with me. So you're obviously very smart. I obviously am not going to ridicule people or belittle people that are part of the podcast, because then they won't want to participate. And I definitely want to have a lot of people participate, because that makes me feel good. So the next level above being, people asking you, are you the smartest person in the room? The reason that people are asking you that, does anybody know why people ask you that? Like, and it's not like, wow, are you the smartest person in the room? They're actually kind of being a little poosty, a little sassy. They're like, what do you think you are, the smartest person in the room? Like, why do people say that?
Are they jealous?
They are. Nice, Luke, and that was fast. Like, so it is. It's like, so people go, Mark, you just make me feel so stupid. And I'm like, well, actually, I apologize for that, but actually, you can't make anybody feel stupid. All you can do is reveal it. And then I smile, and then I walk away. And it takes about 3 to 4 seconds for it to sink in for something. Like, they have never processed that before. So they use that as a way to manipulate people. Like, and so the person who's like saying, are you the smartest person in the room? It's very clear to them that you're way smarter than they are. Now, the next level above that, and if you're thinking, this guy's a freaking genius. Like this, I've never met anybody like Mark before. A lot of people say that. And so it's interesting. So the next level above that is, what do you think you are, God? Do you guys get that a lot?
No.
Nope.
Yeah. I've never met anybody except me. Like, I have tons of people who say that, like tons of people. And so when somebody says, Mark, do you think you're God? What does that reveal about them? It reveals 2 things.
Does it reveal like in their intelligence that they know, instead of saying it this snarky way, if they say it in a kind way, does that then make them realize, oh, you're an intelligent person, so I don't think that I'm dumb. I just know you're intelligent. So maybe you're at a next level, because I think I'm so smart that if somebody's smarter than me, you must be God.
What does that reveal about that person?
Their
They're not very
intelligence.
humble.
What's that? Look,
They're not very humble.
they're not very humble. They think they're pretty close to God. Like God, he and I, we're best buddies. He and I, we're best friends. And so it reveals that they don't have an understanding of God. It reveals that they're very arrogant, that they think they're very righteous. They're self-righteous. They think they're good people. They think all of this stuff. And so it reveals that they're not humble. It reveals that they think they're close to God. They think they're really amazing. Questions?
Are you drawing this back to the video?
Thank you, Luke. See, this is why having Luke on. Because this guy, he's connecting dots. This is the year that I don't connect any dots. So Luke's like drawing, like, why is he having this conversation? So That's absolutely true. So you guys, at some point, if you continue to participate in this podcast, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to, they're not going to be happy with you. They're just not. And because you're going to reveal their stupidity. And people don't like that. They just don't. They don't like when you reveal their stupidity. So they're going to go ahead. You continue to hang around this group, you're going to go ahead and start to have people that are going to say, what, you think you're the smartest person in the room? What, you think you're God? And so, like, the first few times people said that, I'm like, that's the weirdest thing. Why would you say that? And then I realized the reason they're saying it is because they don't have an understanding of God. They're revealing their own arrogance, their own stupidity, their own, everything. It's like they don't have an understanding. Now, when you go ahead and get to certain points, and I started this, now I'm 60 years old. I started this when I was 40. So nobody, not even my mom, told me I was smart before I was 40. I'd recommend you parents out there do the same thing to your kids. Do not tell your kids that they're smart. My guess is Luke might have had, a lot of people telling him he's smart.
It's true.
This is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all, especially if you want to get married. It's not good. It's not good that people, because all of a sudden there's this amazing young woman that comes into your life, and she's like the first one. Well, the second one for Luke, the first one, the second one in his life that is saying, you know what, bud, you're not that smart. Now, if Luke's never had anybody in his life who's ever told him that, he's shocked, he's stunned. He's like, well, you must be a loser. Like, how can you not realize how special and gifted and amazing I am? So this is why Luke appreciates his Uncle Mark, because his Uncle Mark has helped him prepare him to go ahead and at least pretend that you're not that smart around a young lady on the first date. And so how does this connect back into the video?
Ben, you're looking awfully smug over there.
So when you go ahead and become a professional speaker and an author, and you travel around the world and you actually listen to some smart people, and you come up with some of your own things, or you come up with things like Tom Kuntz or Peter Miles. So you hang around smart people, you pick up some wisdom over the years, and you say, that's really interesting. And you start sharing this wisdom, people are going to start telling you that you're really smart. Now, I have an advantage over other people in that nobody told me that until I was 40 years old. So the first 40 years of my life, nobody told me I was smart. So, so the thing that's hard is that when you've gone 40 years, nobody telling you you're smart. When somebody tells you you're smart at 40, what do?
You don't believe them.
Okay.
Or you just ask, why are things changing?
Why? Well, that's one. You ask why. You're like, I'm curious. Like, why do we do? Because you wanna figure that out so you can do it again, right? like, so you want to do it again. You try not to laugh. Don't laugh. That gives it away. Don't go, really? Like, what? Because people, especially in today's society, especially in podcasts, they want to follow smart people. Like, wow. They don't want to follow dumb people. So don't share this with any of your friends, because then they won't think this guy's smart. Like, he's really, it's weird. So it's interesting. A friend of mine, he says, well, we got to wrap this up. We're going to go into the next one. Okay, we're going to connect it all back into it. This is my system. This is my system for being humble. So at some point in your life, hopefully, you will go ahead and have everybody telling you how smart you are, except your wife and your kids. I don't know that they'll ever tell you, which is a blessing, right? It's not bad. It's a good thing. But a lot of people will tell you how smart and wise and amazing you are. And if that ever goes to your head, and then you'll become stupid. You'll stop learning because you can't, if you're not humble, we don't realize how stupid we are or ignorant we are, we stop learning. So this video, I have a system that I'll watch this. If I sense that I think I'm getting smart, if I think I'm getting, like, if I think I feel that ego, I feel anything, I watch this video. Because this video just absolutely, it's a system for humility. To
I have a
say,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
It's going back to somebody saying that you're smart. I guess I'm not too sure if that's the same as somebody giving you a compliment, because with me, somebody gives you a compliment for doing something, I always just like belittle it as like, no big deal, everything else.
Ooh,
And
that's good.
but
That's
the
good.
books I've
No, keep
read,
doing that, because then people think you're humble and you're a good Christian. So no, keep doing that. That's a good strategy.
so what is it in the books that everybody says, instead of just doing that, everybody says the best thing is to do, just say, oh, thank you. Because I'm not good at saying thank you for the compliment. It's like, well, you must not be the smartest person if you're complimenting me or something. So most books that I'm reading now, they all say, just tell them, oh, thank you, I really appreciate that. And I've had to really change for me
Yeah,
to do that.
Luke's strategy is better than the books.
Perfect.
So Luke's strategy is I'm serious. So you ask, that's curious. Like, I'm curious, like why? Why are you saying I'm smart? Because you want to study yourself, and they will see certain things, and then you'll learn things about yourself when people say it. The other thing, I don't know if you've seen this yet, Dale. I don't want to mess up anybody's life. A lot of times people, the reason they're saying that is they're not saying it. I mean, it sounds sincere because we want it to be sincere, but they're actually saying it to manipulate you, to get them to tell them how smart they are, or to go ahead and get something from you.
I'm usually, because I'm a very skeptical person, I've become a skeptical person, even in all your emails. I've seen all the sales tactics and everything that you do, and I see how you compliment everybody, and that's to get them coming back, and you do a fantastic job at that. I really appreciate you, really do. But I've seen this stuff all over the place, so I sort of have a sense. What's that?
What do you think I'm selling? You said I'm selling. What do you think I'm selling?
You're just to stay within the community, and to be
Right?
able to learn from another person, that you never know who you never know what you don't know. So you may meet somebody else.
Did I tell you that I love people? I just don't like them.
Yes, and I sort of fall in that same boat. I
Okay.
really, like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather do stuff on my own than with people if I'm
Right.
able to.
I'm with you here. So this is what I'm selling here. So this is Alan Stein, president of Tanglewood Conservatories. They build $1 million conservatories all around the world. And so he knew me for 10 years, and he came and he met me for the first time in person after 10 years. He flew to Chicago area and we met. And at breakfast, he said, Mark, for the last 10 years, I've been looking at you all wrong. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he told me, and I still didn't understand. So when he got back to Maryland, I said, hey, could you put it in writing? Because I don't understand what you said. And this is what he wrote to me. He said, for a long time, I saw or thought I saw Mark as a business owner trying to make a living for his family, just like the rest of us are. I thought his primary goal was the same as most people in the world, to make money so he could support himself and retire at some point in the future to enjoy the fruits of his labor. Then I started to see that this was just a reflection of where I myself was at. I started to see that as being the only on a superficial exterior. The deeper reality was and is something that I'm completely unfamiliar with and still struggle at times to accept that Mark is coming from a different place, a place that is very different from the rest of us. I do not have much access to this place. It is a place of a different conception of self, where real service to mankind is the driving force, not concerns of my own life issues. Hard to even imagine what this would mean to me if I were to attempt to live so differently. Much has to be done first before I could even reach the dimension where this could be a reality, not just imagination. See, it's not really about making more money, doubling your income, or being more successful. I started to catch a glimpse of something much, much deeper, like peering into another dimension for a moment. That is what we are really being led to. That's what I'm trying to sell. So it's it's being able to understand our identity. And so what's our identity? It's becoming who we were created to be. And so if you think this podcast was good, oh my goodness. Like the next one right after this, where Ben talks about passion. And so when we this here, having a system for humility, because at some point in your life, the more successful you get, it seems like the harder it is to get people to be honest with you, because everybody wants your money, or they want your power, your access, or whatever they want something from you. And so in the passions video, or in the passions podcast, we go into this. And so it's an amazing, like, how do we take our passions? Why are they there? So if you have any questions, on this, please don't share this with other people. Please don't do that. Don't invite don't invite other people. That's best. If you do have any questions, though, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll-free 888-230-2300 outside the U.S. 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.